Hi, I'm Wal Galbraith. I'm a part of the Ray White South Coast Group, and this is your South Coast Snapshot for week 48, 2023. The snapshot is designed to give you a bite-sized breakdown of the real estate market overall, including local, regional and city-based information across Australia. All information is sourced from the AFR, leading economist on X, and the Sydney Morning Herald. All information is relevant to buyers, property owners or both. Record migration and China's post-pandemic reopening have sparked a surge of foreign investment in Australian property, with international agents reporting a more than 400% increase in inquiries. Treasury data reveal overseas buyers are flooding back into Sydney, Melbourne and Brisbane markets. Approvals by government are up to 40% in the past quarter compared to the previous year. And buyers from mainland China, Hong Kong, Taiwan and Vietnam are leading the influx. Separately, NAB's residential property survey last week said real estate professionals estimated the share of total market sales to foreign buyers had increased for the fourth straight quarter to a 51 over 2 year high. The share of foreign buyers has also increased in the established housing markets. Billions of dollars in infrastructure projects around the country are on the chopping block, and more face years-long delays in an attempt to drive down inflation as borrowers brace for the Reserve Bank to lift interest rates once more in the future. Ambitious state and federal road and rail projects were flagged by the International Monetary Fund last week as factors that could force the RBA to lift rates even higher. The IMF urged governments to slow down their big builds. The states have more than $100 billion worth of road and rail projects underway, with projects worth hundreds of billions of dollars more either committed or under consideration. New South Wales road and rail authorities are working on $36 billion worth of projects, while in Victoria the total is almost $85 billion. Victoria's work includes the $35 billion suburban rail loop project, and while New South Wales is well advanced in the construction of the $5.3 billion Western Sydney Airport. Reserve Bank of Australia boss Michelle Bullock has warned that taming inflation is proving more difficult than anticipated, leaving open the possibility of raising interest rates again after delivering her first rate rise as governor. Ms. Bullock said Tuesday's decision to increase the cash rate to 4.35% from 4.1% was because progress on lowering inflation had been slower than earlier expected. Australia will struggle to achieve its 1.2 million new homes target because competition for key trades and skills from higher paying infrastructure sector is depriving residential construction of the capacity it desperately needs, developers and builders say. In August, the federal and state governments expanded their collective housing target from 1 million to 1.2 million new homes by 2029, a goal the industry warned would be elusive due to dysfunctional planning systems and labour shortages. Australia's already weak level of new home building, housing starts to fall decade low 40,720 in the June quarter, is pushing inflation up through house prices and rents, and the country desperately needs more homes to bring down inflation as well as to house a fast-growing population. UBS data shows household income from superannuation is running hot, making the economy more resilient to interest rate rises and inflation stickier. Economists have urged Treasurer Jim Chalmers to overhaul Australia's tax system after new data showed households suffered the largest fall in living standards of any advanced economy over the past year. Inflation-adjusted disposable incomes have hit their lowest level since June 2019, as high inflation, a rapid increase in mortgage repayments and rising income taxes ravage household budgets, newly released data from the OECD show. In the 12 months to June, Australian household income slumped 5.1%, the sharpest fall recorded across the OECD, according to the analysis by the Australian Financial Review. Cutthroat mortgage competition is here to stay for another year, says National Australia Bank Chief Executive Ross McEwen, as he prepared investors for more margin pain and delivered a gloomier outlook for the housing market than major rival Westpac earlier this week. NAB reported an 8.8% jump in cash profits to $7.7 billion for the 2023 financial year on Thursday, even as it fell the second half of the year. The bank's net interest margins, a core measure of profitability, fell 6 basis points to 1.71% over the 6 months to September 30, as intense pricing in the home loan market erased the benefits of higher interest rates. First-time home buyers who borrowed in the interest rate trough and bought a house at the previous price peak are rolling onto new variable interest rates that are higher than the buffers applied by the banks when the customers first took out the loan. But National Australia Bank says this riskiest cohort of customers who are breaching their serviceability buffers are showing no more signs of mortgage stress than the rest of its home loan book, adding weight to the mortgage cliff being overblown. The New South Wales government has identified nearly 90,000 homes, including holiday houses, short-term rentals and vacant properties, that could be lured onto the long-term rental market amid the worsening housing crisis. As the state government grapples with how to tackle the crisis, which includes a chronic shortage of rental properties, New South Wales Treasurer Daniel Mookie has confirmed that a review of short-term rental accommodation will be launched by the end of the year. The state government has been considering tightening caps on short-term rentals, such as in Byron Bay, where there is the highest number of Airbnb and stays properties in New South Wales, as the latest figures show there are 42,978 short-term rentals registered across the state. Rental affordability has gone from bad to worse over the past year, deteriorating in nearly every capital city as the Reserve Bank warns rent inflation will remain high for some time. The annual Rental Affordability Index from the SGS Economics and Peak Body National Centre found renters in each capital city were now worse off than before the COVID-19 pandemic in 2019. Asking rents for houses in Sydney have surged more than 16% in the past year, and strongly in other markets as well, as vacancy rates sink near historic lows, making the task of reining in inflation more difficult, experts say. The national vacancy rate has fallen to 1%, while Perth and Adelaide have the tightest markets in the country, with their vacancy rates at 0.4% according to SQM research. An undersupply in housing, coupled with the surge in migration, has pushed rents higher in most markets. The average rent across Sydney houses rose 1.5% in the past month to $1,013 and increased 1.3% to all dwellings to $815. Australia's headline inflation rate is the highest among the world's largest advancing economies, prompting economists to warn the Reserve Bank may need to deliver further interest rate rises to quash persistent price pressures. Australia's Consumer Price Index increased 5.4% in the year to September 30, topping the list of headline inflation rates in the world's 15 largest advanced economy, according to analysis by the AFR weekend. The figures highlight the distinctive nature of Australia's inflation outbreak, which started and peaked in months after many advanced economies, meaning price pressures have persisted well into 2023. Looking to make the best use of the current market or considering your financial options? If you're either expanding your property portfolio, refinancing, or looking to sell your current property, get in touch today. We'd love to help. My name is Wal Galbraith. I'm a part of the Ray White South Coast Group, and this was your South Coast Snapshot for week 48, 2023. See you next week. Bye.